Sevendust is one of those bands that has earned the term Road Warriors. Since the guys got together in Atlanta in 1996, these guys have logged more miles than any of their new metal cousins. I caught up with Clint Lowry, guitarist for Sevendust, on the road between Boise, Idaho and Seattle. Here's what Clint had to say.
How's the tour going?
Everything's good, man. We just we've been out with Soil for a while, and new band Switched just got on the tour with us. Everything's cool. We're going to Seattle right now.
Cool. Where'd you just play last night, or was it over the weekend?
We played in Boise, Idaho last night, and we're playing Seattle tonight.
Cool. How many dates do you have left on this leg of the tour?
What's that?
How many dates you got left out on the road?
We got about 2.5, I guess, 2 weeks right now. 2 weeks from today, we'll be home for about a 2-week break, and then we get back out on the Loco Bazooka tour this summer.
Oh, cool. Very cool. Hey, have you guys ever played in Indianapolis before?
Oh yeah, we played there a bunch of times.
Cool.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here in Indy.
Oh yeah, we played. We've been out we got 3 albums. We played everywhere. There's no.
Cool.
We're old.
Yeah, I've been following you guys since the first album. I really enjoyed that single Black. Went out and bought it the day after I heard it, and thought that was a really great album. In our website's local band section, you guys are the most often cited influence in the band descriptions. Have you had any similar reports of this?
Well, we've had bands, express their, I guess, they're like, man, you guys inspired us and did a lot for us and helped us form a sound. And, we hear that from time to time, and that's always flattering, it's always cool. And like when we were coming up, there was a lot of bands that affected us, and I know how much that meant to me, when I would meet these people later on. And, it was just cool. It's always a huge flattering thing.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely a cool thing.
You guys were a bit banged up after the last tour, from what I was reading in your bio. I know you guys put on a hell of a live show, very energetic. Anybody taking it easier this time?
No, there's no such thing as taking it easier. We can't. If we do that, then we'll start. There's different types of songs that we're writing now, songs that don't require you to show yourself on stage. But, I don't know. We always thrive on having an energetic show. Nothing's really changed.
Good to hear. Animosity is a damn fine album. I gotta give you credit for that. It's very easy on the ears and at the same time very heavy. It's very good work. At this point, is it everything that you guys had hoped for it to be when you started recording it?
Yeah, we were very happy with the outcome of the record. Ben did a fabulous job. We just said we did what we set out to do, was to make a heavy, and melodic toned record, and go on both sides of the fence rather than just one. And it just worked out good. I think that the record sounds good, the songs are good. That we worked really hard on it, so it's not like a conceited thing. We just know that we worked real hard on it. And we like the music that we all made it. Everyone else from the band that worked. I just thought everyone did a great job.
Yeah, it really shows. You guys worked. How hard you guys worked on this. Angel's Son was a minor hit for you last year, and I know that you guys wrote that for former frontman for Snot, Lynn Strait. Did his death trigger the mellowness that was expressed on this album, or
the mellow? What now?
Well, there seems to be a mellowness that you kind of expressed.
That was that's stuff that I've always written. I'll have a batch of heavy songs, a batch of really melodic acoustic material that I've been writing forever. So it wasn't that really triggered it. It was like kind of the way out, on the home record, Angel's Son incident and Lynn's passing, all that happening toward the end of that. And it just happened that that song kind of trailed out that cycle of home. And
right.
People thought, well, are they going to be like an acoustic band now, or what? It was kind of weird, and like we didn't understand why people were doing that. Because it wasn't a Sevendust song. It was me and LeJean that wrote the song for with Mikey and Tumor and the rest of the guys for our friend in the past. It wasn't exactly a Sevendust project, but it just turned out we saw that as a strong point in our band that we could write that kind of stuff and do the heavy stuff. So we definitely did use that in consideration as far as people and the way they accepted it.
Yeah, very good. I know you guys had some serious financial problems after the last tour, and rather than asking you about what all that was, because it doesn't really matter, it's in the past, what advice would you guys impart to struggling musicians so they might avoid similar trouble?
That's a good question. Actually, just to be aware of the situation with the contracts and the business, and don't just put it into someone's hands, expect them to take care of any particular thing. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, you are going to look out for you. No one really, no one, besides my other band members, I don't care if it's my mom or dad managing the band or doing anything or working at the label. I don't, any of those things. No one's going to take care of us besides us. So just if you're in a band situation, make sure you're just aware and you're educated on what you're doing and what business moves, what's going on around you and who's doing what, and where this money's going, and just be aware of it. Don't just say, okay, I want to play music. You got to get involved with the other things as well, business aspect.
Yeah, that's good advice. That's real good advice. So, how do you guys feel about digital music technology like MP3s and networks like Kazaa, Morpheus? And as a companion question to that, do you download music yourself?
I don't have anything against any of it. I think it's pretty interesting to be able to pull up stuff, and people are going to do it regardless now. It's way too far into it, and it's cool. I personally don't do it. Not to say that I wouldn't, because I'm always on the road and I don't have hard lines, But there's a lot of stuff that I hear about them. I wish, if I had a computer set up, I'd download it. But it's cool. My mom does it all the time. It's just it's the future. People are going to do it, and as long as people come to the shows, that doesn't affect. I think ultimately the record companies are the ones that get screwed out a lot of the times. If people like the music, they'll come and they'll support you live, and they'll do all that, regardless. And that's how we make our money, basically.
Right, and that's how most bands make their monies from the shows anyway. And
sell a billion records, that's the only way you will. Too many hands in the pot.
Right, and I'm kind of the view myself that it helps bands. It kind of it helps spread the music to people that otherwise wouldn't buy the record. Yeah,
and if you wouldn't, exactly. I mean, with all the fans and all the traffic that's out, it's almost impossible to keep up, financially keep up with all the CDs you have, all the bands that come out. I mean, it's just an easier way to pick through the bands and say, well, I like this, I don't like this, instead of spending the $20 for a CD. It's just, I'd rather get a sample of something before I spend all, a lot of kids don't have money to do that, so I agree with it in that way.
Yeah, exactly. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
You have some of the most loyal fans in the business. What do you think brings that loyalty to Sevendust?
I think a lot of people, we're a pretty accessible band at the shows, and a lot of these kids know that when we'll come and we'll hang out after the shows, and we'll sign anything anyone wants to sign. It just, they know that we're loyal to them as well. It's not just a one-way street. We'll always get back to the smaller little areas that don't get a lot of shows. I think people can appreciate that a little bit. And I don't know. I just think it's like we're like the underdog, and everyone likes the underdog.
Right.
We haven't blown up. We haven't sold the biscuit amount of records, which would be nice, but we haven't. And I think we're like still that, that the guy that no one thinks is gonna, that every movie has that one guy that you root for, the one guy that no one believes in, kind of thing. And I don't know. It's a cool feeling because you can't. There's no pressure. It's just we love. If we play music, we know that we've got some very supportive people out there, and that's what's most important to us.
Right. So Have you heard anything new while on the road that's caught your attention, either good or bad? I mean, like any local openers or any other.
We get a lot of CDs, man, and once again, I always want to express that we love getting material from other bands. But there's a bunch of different things we hear every now and then. I mean, the Switch, they're a new band on the tour with us, and they're a young band. They're incredible. We love their music a lot. We're starting to get more familiar with it the more we listen to the CD and the more we watch it play. And they're really cool. But outside of that, we've been listening to a bunch of old school shit.
What do you consider old school?
Well, there's different levels of old school. There's metal old school, and then there's R&B old school, which we've been listening to a lot lately, and just old Stevie Wonder and just all kinds of different things we've been listening to. Just things that we have this little game we'll play in the dressing room. We'll get a CD and have not tell anyone what it is, and you put it on and just see how long it takes people to figure out what it is, and it's like a classic song, that just makes everyone happy and that kind of thing. It's just, it's weird. It's not what you would expect us to be doing in the dressing room before the show.
Nothing like a pre-show game. Name that tune.
Yeah.
That's classic. That's good, man.
But it's like really abstract stuff.
Right. Yeah, I always get pumped up by James Brown.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, he's classic, man.
Oh yeah.
If Pat Boone chose to do a Sevendust song on his next album of metal covers, what song would you prefer him to do?
I'll probably consider him doing Waffle. Bring me alive, make my life worth. I get him that. Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be great, man.
Yeah.
Okay, wait a minute. I have a favorite question I ask all of my interview subjects. When you were young, what was your first big-time rock and roll concert? And if you had it all to do again, would you still go to it?
Oh, man. My first concert was Judas Priest Screaming for Vengeance tour.
Good show.
And it was awesome. It affected my life, The first big rock concert, arena rock show that I went to was that.
Right. I'm not talking about, the local band or nothing. Yeah.
Right, yeah. That was the first. That's when the lights go down, the lighters got turned on. That was the first, and it was like no one really told me that happened.
Oh, yeah.
Freaked out. I'm like, this is out of control, I was so scared, but so excited at the same time,
Cool. Well, I just got one more question for you. What can I tell the people of Indianapolis to expect when you guys show up to rock the Egyptian Room?
Just expect, we play a really long set, and it's really tiring, and it's really fun, and it's emotional, it goes up and down, and I just expect to be really tired when you leave,
Cool.
It's a long, heavy set.
Yeah, the best shows leave you tired when you go home.
Yeah, and I live like 2 hours from Indianapolis.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Where do you live?
Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh, man, I party down there a lot. You ever go to O'Malley's Corner?
Yep.
Right on. Looking forward to the show, man.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing you, man.
Cool.
All
Take
right.
it easy, man. Thanks for calling.
See you.
See ya.
So there you have it. You can catch Sevendust live with opening act Soil at the Murat Center in the Egyptian Room next Wednesday. Be sure to check out that show. Be sure to pick up a copy of their new album, Animosity, available in your favorite record store everywhere. It's a damn fine album, so be sure to catch that. Until next time, drive fast and swerve. I'm Joh Padgett for IndianapolisMusic.net.